Hello, everyone, and welcome back. In the last episode, we went through our two-way communication system where I explained you how five smart assistants working together to make your communication really clear and it's going to help you improve your overall culture. I also explained Answer GPT, how it's going to help you save times and how employees can have just as a finger click the questions and any queries they're related to whether they're related to processes, policies, or training. And it's going to save a lot of time for just repeated questions from HR and also um, waiting for the all those questions that are and that should be very fast. So today I'm going to explain the broadcast GPT part of that and what is its purpose, how it's going to help your communication smoother, and how it's going to make you really leaders feel confident and employees feel heard. So if I move next, the problem here is that most workplaces they communicate in fragments. Emails are here, surveys are there, social posts are there. So this creates confusion for employees. They feel bombarded with information, but they never feel heard. Leaders feel that they are just communication each and everything, but employees they don't feel alignment. And the fragmented channel means the missed updates because every employee is getting every every message whether they need it or not. And the other thing is that for example the safety alerts they mix with the social posts, so they don't know that where to pay more attention, because in that sense they think that this is not really something important because everything is just being coming and coming at the same space. And that makes the policy changes get buried and people they miss what matters, and this also decreases the engagement rate, and they don't feel like engaging in that because it is a lot of information that doesn't feel related. And the other problem is not measuring the communication. If you're not measuring it, how you are communicating and how your communication is really making an impact and improving the culture and changing the behavior, then you will not be able to understand the real return on investment in your communication. So in this process, what this broadcast GPT in this communication system, what we are going to do is here we're making that who must get it, who must not, because defining the audience is really important in that sense, because you can't send each and every information to each and everybody and expect the response you are or expect the behavior you want to. This other thing is there is a need to clarify objectives. This will help you to clarify objectives. So what they need to know or do, that's important. What you want to communicate, you are sending a message, what behavior you want to see in return. And by setting timeline is important, by when you want it and how you will measure the success, that how you will know it worked. So this is going to be in the broadcast GPT. It is going to change one simple message into, it is going to convert it to email in Slack or Teams, in WhatsApp or signage, and dual language if required. Like in here, I'm just in UAE, so you want the message in Arabic as well. So it's going to do that for you. So if we move next about, because approvals and quality checks are really important, the system is built in a way that the communication department is responsible for readability, because they know better what it is written, what message should be written in a way that the people who really going to read must understand what it is about. And HR and legal is there for to check and make sure that there is no bias and check about the privacy. And managers are responsible for the action who and their honor, and about the deadline, the approval. Finally, it depends on your organization whether you want who is going to be responsible: HR, IT approval, comms approval. So overall quality checks are important. This is built in that, and it will make it faster because all those things are together at one place. So After you send messages, it's very important to send and monitor, of course. So this will check you. This have a built-in dashboard inside that will give you a look that how many received it, how many the dwell time, and the scrolling time, how much time they spend in it, and acknowledgement, because there are some things that are really preferred that, for example, there's a policy change, there should be a little acknowledgement that I have read and understood, to make sure that they understand what they read. And some urgent things, there are some quick quizzes like 1 to 2 questions to check in uh, whether they get the message or not. That's really important to understand, and that's this broadcast gpt is built in that. And one more important thing is that it is linked to your LMS, your ERP. So you can see that you send it, action is taken, and you can measure that. Like for example, 90% of managers they finish training within a week. So it's very important to know that, because sending messages is not just one thing. You are sending, you are communicating for a purpose, and the communication should land in a way that your purpose is achieved. You get what you require from that communication. So it should not finish at that, because you should monitor it as well. So look at you need to learn and improve, like weekly and monthly reports. You need to check noise level. Are the messages too much? You, for example, is that noise level it should decrease? Is it decreasing? And engagement, is it improving? So it depends that uh, messages are relevant. If the messages are relevant, engagement will improve. The employees will not be bombarded by each and every kind of information at one place. And if we look at we can then, depending on the problems, depending on the feedback, we can see that whether we need to narrow the areas, whether we need to change the subject or adjust the channel. So this is the continuous loop. So moving forward, you must have a question that, okay, how is going to help me? What value is going to create? Of course, it will create value. The value is clarity. Only targeted updates only. Who needs that? Trust will develop because there are going to be fewer blasts. Fewer blasts means more relevance. If it's relevant to you, it's going to build trust, because in my email, whether I'm going to check each and everything from each and everybody who is going to talk to me. So um, proof is that they understand and act, because we are using here some measurements to some mini check-ins, and some I understood it, to measure that whether they really understand it. And the overall system also, we will, in the coming episode, I will discuss how it's going to create the wires with Sentinel GPTs and other that are combined, the idea GPTs. So the bottom up feedback and ideas, they are going to make wires more clear. So this is really really important. So this, what all this makes this communication system. So for me, I truly believe communication should not be noise, because the purpose is not the noise. The purpose is to communicate your message in a way the other understand and they act how you want them to. You want to change the behavior, you want to improve the culture, and at the same time you want your employees to be feel heard, and so they can play their part. So this broadcast gpt, along with other four assistants that are I'm going to bring in other episode, they are going to make a really disciplined, human first two-way communication system for your organization. And you will move from we sent an email to we know our people understand, they acted on, and they feel heard. Let's talk about, if you want to bring in your organization and want to see how it's going to help you. Right now, I will take you directly into the system and will give you a demonstration what I'm saying, it how it looks like in reality. So here is the system. I will enter in the system and I will explain you how broadcast GPT really works. For example, we have a lot of messages. We need to change something. For example, I here give you an example that our policy is being changed and how the system is going to help you to design messages that are really going to be related and very much according to the channel, not one single message to each and everybody. And what it's going to give you is going to help you to save time. So it will craft for email separately, for manager script separately, because manager needs a lot of detailed information as well. So they have a full brief there for them, and so they can communicate with their team later in detail. So if I just go through one example, and I will show you how it works. For example, there is a policy update. I am going to show you that how it works here. And now I started working on it, and it's going to create for me crafted messages for each and different channel, depending on what message is appropriate, in the sense that they feel it, that we can communicate in a better way, that they really get the message. So here it is creating for all those versions for different channels. This is the email version. Subject says a kind of detail. And one very good thing is this is missing information, is showing you that following information is not found in the date and the deadline you're supposed to add here. For example, what is the date here, effective date, you need to add the date here, and if the deadline is missing, add there. And this is the email version it created for you. The communication department is responsible for that. They will read it, and they will make sure to that it is nice and clear, it actually conveying the message we need to. Is it going to drive the behavior they want from their employees? And one more thing we can, if you want a specific tone, specific language, and a message in a way, we can make that built in a way so it creates that tone and clear message. And comms department can make sure at the end, okay, it created that. And if I look at the Slack messages, it's different. See, it's not sending each and everything to everybody. Heads up team, we are updating our remote workplaces, starting effective. See, it's showing you effective date in that line. All employees will be required to be in office 3 days per week. To enhance collaboration and communication, please coordinate with your specific in-office days with your manager. Manager is they're still getting the update, but if they need further information, manager is there to give any extra information, because the managers, they are going to get a full brief that is detailed. But the good thing here is no one is missing the information that something is changed. And expect more details from HR and facilities soon. So here, WhatsApp messages, very small. Remote work update is here, effective this month, 3 days weekly office presence required. Coordinates, you can see how it changed. For email, it created in few seconds all the versions you want to send, but I purposely kept it this way, that it must be improved. It must be seen by comms department. It must be seen by HR and legal to look for any bias or legal things to just get approved and send back if they want to send. And if you look at the manager brief, see, this is the whole detail that key talking points manager should know, the suggested script for team discussions, and important detail they must be communicated accurately. So this is the whole demonstration. This is how it works. This is how it's going to make your communication easier, faster, save time for you, while keeping human touch inside, and without neglecting any comms and HR and legal involvement. So your employees are really connected. They feel they exactly know what is required, and you will be able to drive that action that you really want to. So if you want to add this system in your organization and want to know how it will work for you, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching.